What do you do when the person you trust most turns your words into a joke? Sometimes, healing comes from the most public places, and forgiveness is born in the spotlight of true remorse. Has someone ever made you self-conscious about something you can't change? The kitchen is warm with the scent of spices and roasting vegetables. I move carefully, setting plates on the table, arranging the glasses just right. In my hand, the little note card gleams softly, a small paper filled with words I rehearsed over and over. Tonight, my chance to share a piece of my heart with Brian and our friends. Is everything ready, Lucia? Brian calls from the living room, his voice light. Yes, I answered, my voice steady, but my heart racing. I smooth my dress one last time, then step forward. Standing at the head of the table, I clear my throat. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It means a lot to me. Brian grins, teasing. Don't make it a speech, mi amor. I smile, cheeks warming. I just want to say, I am grateful for this home, for your friendship, and especially for Brian. He's taught me so much about patience and love, and to keep learning every day. A few nods and smiles greet me. The room feels bright, full of hope. As dinner starts, laughter fills the air. Brian jokes with Neil about their last fishing trip. I carefully pour wine, my nerves easing. Then, Brian turns to me. Lucia, he says, voice teasing. Your accent is like music, but sometimes it's a little funny. He pauses, then suddenly, with a playful grin, he mimics my pronunciation exaggeratedly. Thank you very much. He chuckles, expecting everyone to laugh. The room quiets for a brief moment. I feel my smile falter as eyes flicker between us. I grip the edge of the table, trying to steady my breath. Brian notices the change. His face shifts, confused, then realizing something's wrong. Hey, I was just joking, he says quickly. I nod, forcing a small laugh, but inside, the warmth leaves me. My fingers tighten around the note card hidden behind my back. Later, as conversations flow around me, I'm silent. My smile is brittle, a mask cracking at the edges. When the guests leave, I step into the quiet kitchen. My fingers trace the faded ink on the note card, the words I was so proud of, now feeling heavy and distant. I fold it slowly and place it on the counter, then slide it under the shelf where no one will see. Alone in the stillness, I whisper into the dark. Did he really hear me? Or was I just a joke to him? The night hums softly, and the memories of his voice replay in my mind. Laughter over my accent, the way it made me feel small. I reach out and touch the note card again, longing for the moment I could believe in us without doubt. Have you ever felt small or mocked by someone you love? Words turning into hurt you didn't expect. How did you handle the silence that followed? Share your story in the comments. You might help someone who feels unseen by the ones they trust most. She closes her notebook and looks out the window, finger tracing the shadows of the night. The alarm beeps quietly, but Lucia lies still, staring at the ceiling. Since the dinner, something inside her feels dimmed, as if a soft curtain has fallen across every word she tries to say. She gets ready slowly, the house silent, Brian already gone for work, his last words echoing, "Have a nice day, mi amor," but his voice sounds far away. At the hospital, Lucia lingers by her locker, shoulders hunched. The halls buzz with morning energy. She puts on her badge, listening to the click of her ID card. Usually, she greets everyone in the break room with a cheerful, "Good morning." Today, her hello is faint, slowed by the memory of everyone laughing at her accent. The phone at the nurse's station rings. Lucia hesitates, staring at the blinking red light, heart thudding. It rings again. Finally, she picks it up and says, "This is Lucia in pediatrics." Her tongue stumbles a little, and she winces, certain everyone around her can hear. She keeps her voice softer, careful not to roll her R's or stretch her vowels the way she did as a child. For the first time in years, she feels self-conscious about every syllable. Even during simple charting, Lucia shrinks back from chatter. She listens, but doesn't join. Co-workers share weekend stories and joke about lunch plans. But Lucia nods politely, lips pressed tight, longing to disappear in the flow of shift work. Every time someone glances her way, her cheeks burn, and she's not sure if they're thinking about her accent or if it's just in her head. It's Samantha who notices first. She plops down beside Lucia in the staff room, popping open a soda. "Did you swap shifts with the invisible woman? We haven't caught up all week." Samantha tilts her head, voice gentle but teasing. "Everything okay? You're quieter than a mouse with a library card." Lucia musters a weak smile, shaking her head. "Just tired. Big weekend, maybe." Samantha nudges her bag of chips toward Lucia. "You know you can talk to me, right? About anything. Or we can run away and find a donut shop. My treat." Lucia wants to say yes. She almost does, the words balancing on her tongue. "Maybe later," she says softly, trying to sound casual, even if she feels anything but. She hopes Samantha will drop it, but also secretly that she won't. Throughout her shift, Lucia carries the weight of self-doubt from one task to the next. She bumps into Dr. Lerner, who gives her a puzzled look when she answers only with, "Okay, doctor," instead of her usual friendly chat. Near the end of her day, Lucia helps a little girl, Sophia, whose arm is wrapped in a bright purple cast. Sophia's grandmother sighs. "Thank you, nurse. We love your accent. It sounds so warm. Like home, you know." Lucia freezes, then smiles, but her eyes blur with sudden tears. She brushes them away quickly, hoping nobody sees, embarrassed by how deep the hurt has gone. The drive home is quiet. Lucia presses her palm to the window at a red light, watching rain streak down. She thinks about every time she was told, "Your voice is beautiful," back in Peru. How it made her proud. Now, those words feel far away. At home, Brian is already on the sofa, TV humming. He glances up as Lucia sets her bag down. "Hey, you're home. Sorry about the other night. I really was just joking, you know?" He says it quickly, picking up his phone as he speaks. "Didn't mean to embarrass you." Lucia nods, sitting at the far end of the couch. "It's okay," she whispers, though it isn't, not really. Brian, thinking it's settled, turns back to his screen, satisfied. But inside, Lucia feels even smaller. His apology, tossed between commercial breaks, lands with no weight, as if the hurt was hers alone to fix. She sits in silence, unable to meet his eyes. The note card is still in her purse, creased and almost unreadable. Later, Lucia lies in bed, rain tracing patterns on the dark window. She rolls over, staring at her silent phone, thumb hovering over the call button for her mother, but not pressing it. She clicks off the lamp and lets the darkness settle, the bed cold, her heart full of questions. She wonders if her voice will ever feel like her own again. Have you ever felt embarrassed by something personal, like your accent or your background? How did it affect your confidence? Share your story in the comments. Your honesty might remind someone else that they're not alone, especially in moments that feel isolating. The squeals of children chasing balloons echo above the soft buzz of the backyard BBQ. Lucia stands by the cooler, hands folded, eyes scanning the crowd for a friendly corner. The lawn is scattered with bright folding chairs, half-eaten plates, and easy laughter. She tells herself she can do this, that tonight will be better. Neil, Brian's cousin, strides up, balancing a plate stacked with ribs and potato salad. He waves her over. "Hey, Lucia." "Hey, everyone, remember Brian's dinner party? Man, you gotta do that impression again." He grins, eyes sparkling as he nudges Brian in the side. Lucia's smile tightens. She inches away, willing the spotlight to pass. But already, relatives are tuning in, faces turned, waiting for a show. Brian glances at Lucia, not reading the silent plea in her eyes. He grins, puffing up, and with a playful tilt to his head, launches into the same joke from that night. Exaggerated vowels, a stumbling twist on her words. "Thank you, Barry Mock. We so happy to have you." The laughter rolls out loud and unfiltered across the yard. Lucia feels herself shrink, heat racing up her neck. She grips a napkin so tightly it tears, the edge digging into her palm. She wants to call out, to make him stop, but her voice is stuck somewhere deep, caught behind the swell of laughter and the sting of being made small in front of everyone. Susan, Brian's mother, crosses over with a gentle smile, setting a hand on Lucia's shoulder. "This must be so different for you here, dear. Do you get homesick much? I can't imagine how hard it is. All the changes and, fitting in." Lucia nods, mouth pressed shut, blinking hard. "Yes, sometimes," she whispers, but the words taste bitter, swallowed before they're really spoken. Across the yard, Brian catches her gaze for a moment. His smile falters, not yet understanding, already turning back to jokes with Neil. The world blurs around Lucia. Plates clatter, music thumps, the wind carries the scent of barbecue, and she feels as if she's fading from her own life. She excuses herself softly, slipping through the side gate and into the house. She finds the bathroom and locks the door, sinking down to the cool edge of the tub. In her hand, she realizes, is the note card she stuffed into her pocket. That same card she wrote her failed toast on days ago. The words are still bright blue, but now bent and smudged, crumpled from so many times she's grasped it in moments of doubt. Tears spill hot and silent down her face. She presses her forehead to her knees. A memory flickers. Her first week in America, sitting on the threadbare couch in her father's apartment. He'd knelt in front of her, voice strong even after a day of hauling boxes. "Your voice," he said, "is your story. Never let anyone make it small, Lucia. Carry it like a flag." Her fingers pick at the card, feeling the edges, the hope in her own handwriting, now a ghost of pride. On the bathroom wall, there's a tiny framed print. "You are stronger than you know." Lucia stares at it, through the blur, breath shaky, telling herself she will not disappear. She wipes her face, stands tall in the mirror, and studies the red-nosed, tearful version of herself staring back. The house hums with far-off laughter, a sound that used to mean welcome, now a reminder of how alone she feels in a crowd. Gradually, the noise from the yard fades, replaced by her own deep breaths. She clutches the note card, straightens it as best she can, and smooths the creases. Her accent is not a punchline. Not tonight, not ever again. If someone made you feel small for the way you speak, what would you want to say? And to whom? Have you ever had to fight for your own voice, even among the people you love? Lucia unlocks the bathroom door, determination setting in. Tonight showed her that this cannot go on. This is her story, one she'll learn to tell on her own terms. The wall between us. The house feels heavy as Lucia walks in, her steps slow, almost hesitant. The weight of the evening's gathering lingers. Brian's laughter mimicking her accent, still ringing painfully in her ears. In the quiet of their living room, she turns to him, voice low but firm. "Lucia." "Brian, I need to talk." He looks up, puzzled, but attentive. "Lucia," softly but steady, "when you imitate me like that, it makes me feel like a joke. Not like your wife, your partner. It hurts more than you realize." A pause fills the space, the kind that holds everything suspended. "Brian, it wasn't meant to be bad. I was trying to be funny." His eyes plead for understanding, but the tension doesn't ease. Lucia looks away, swallowing an ache she can't quite dispel. The walls seem to close in as her heart tightens. In the days that follow, her laughter fades, replaced by quiet silences at home. She speaks less, retreating into herself like a delicate shell withdrawn for safety. Invitations to outings or gatherings come and go unanswered. When Brian approaches with tentative smiles or playful nudges to lift her spirits, she shrinks further into solitude, her secret refuge, a small seashell, her worry stone, a cherished keepsake from Lima that she slips into her pocket whenever feelings swell too large to carry. She rubs it discreetly, a small anchor amid the growing emotional distance. Brian watches helplessly, feeling the gap but unsure how to bridge it. His attempts at jokes or forced cheerfulness inadvertently deepen the chasm, each misstep like a silent brick in the wall rising between them. Night falls early. One evening, Brian sits alone at the dining table, the house dark except for the muted glow of a single lamp. His gaze drops to the crumpled, untouched note card Lucia had written and later discarded. The words on it, the heartfelt toast she had prepared for their friends, remain unseen, discarded like the connection slipping between them. He questions himself in that quiet moment. How do I make this right? How do I show her she's more than a moment's laughter? How do I become the partner she needs again? If you were in Lucia's position, would forgiveness come easily? Or would you need a deeper gesture or time to heal? Have you ever found yourself building walls around your heart to protect it from further hurt? These questions resonate with many who have faced emotional divides in their closest relationships. The struggle to forgive, whether quickly or gradually, is a profoundly personal journey, often requiring more than words. The path to healing is rarely straightforward. Lucia and Brian's story reminds us that love can fracture when respect is eroded in moments of thoughtlessness. Yet, it also offers a starting point for rebuilding, recognition, vulnerability, and the willingness to face uncomfortable truths. If you've experienced a moment when you had to protect your heart or wrestle with forgiveness, sharing your story can provide comfort and strength to others walking a similar road. The rain taps gently against the cafe window as Lucia steps inside, her umbrella dripping at the door. The little back room is glowing with warm light and the soft hum of laughter. Samantha waves her over, a wide smile and a dog-eared novel in her hand. Around the table sit Jasmine Rivera, a nurse with bright eyes and a Puerto Rican flag pin on her bag, plus two other women, Amber, who works in hospital's billing office, and Lisa, a local teacher new to the group. Lucia sits down, nervous at first. She hides her seashell worry stone in her fist, rolling it between her fingers while the others catch up about their week. Samantha elbows her gently. "You're just in time for story time," she whispers, chuckling. Amber starts the conversation, reading aloud a short passage about finding your voice in a crowd. When she finishes, there's a quiet pause. Jasmine speaks up, her accent steady and proud. "You all know I used to hate my voice," she says, twirling her pen. I used to practice over and over to sound more American, but I realized it was making me sad, like cutting out a song I'd known my whole life. Our voices are our music, and every time I hide mine, I lose a little piece of myself. Lucia blinks, heart pounding at the words. For the first time in weeks, she finds her own voice, wanting to join the conversation. She glances at Samantha, who nods softly as if to say, "Go ahead." She breathes deep. Sometimes it's hard to feel like you really belong. Sometimes people, even people you love, can make you feel small about things you can't change. Her voice is quieter than usual, but steady. Lisa nods. I moved here from a tiny town in Arkansas. People laughed at my drawl. I didn't speak at meetings for the first year. Amber nudges Lucia. It's okay to love where you come from, she says. Even the way you say it. Jasmine smiles. The first time someone said my accent was beautiful instead of strange, I almost cried. You can't hide forever and be happy. Tears well in Lucia's eyes, but this time they're good tears. I wish more people knew how much it hurts to be told that your voice is wrong, she says, voice trembling. I wish my family was here to remind me that my words mean home. Samantha squeezes Lucia's hand. They are, you are, and you're not alone, okay? Her tone is gentle, but fierce. Amber passes Lucia's seashell around the table, a gentle gesture, asking for permission first. What's this? It's smooth, like it's traveled a long way. Lucia nods, smiling shyly. It's from Lima. My grandmother gave it to me when I left. I keep it when I need to remember where I come from. The group takes turns holding the seashell, hands warming it. Lisa places it by Lucia's side, saying softly, "Every safe place needs a touchstone." Jasmine adds, "And every strong voice needs backup singers." The table erupts in laughter. Real, belly-deep laughter, and Lucia joins in, cheeks wet with relief. With every moment, Lucia feels the heaviness lifting. Being among these women, each with a struggle of her own, each brave in her way, reminds her that belonging isn't about being the same. It's about being heard, understood, safe. As the club closes for the night, the women gather their books and umbrellas. Samantha hugs Lucia tightly. "You did great," she whispers. Jasmine presses the seashell back into Lucia's hand, smiling. "Hold on to your music." Stepping out into misty air, Lucia feels something she hasn't in weeks, a spark of hope. As she walks, her phone buzzes with a new message. "It's Brian. Can we talk tonight? I've been wrong. I want to understand. Please." Lucia pauses on the sidewalk. She closes her eyes, pressing the familiar seashell in her palm. The hope from book club mixes with old sadness. For the first time, she feels ready to let her voice be heard, but only if he's ready to really listen. She types back, slow and certain, "Yes, we can talk, but I need you to hear me this time." The walk home feels lighter. Lucia breathes in the cool night and wipes the last of her tears, holding the seashell tightly, knowing she's never been closer to being herself. Have you ever found comfort with people who understood your struggles in a way others couldn't? Did someone help you see your value when you'd forgotten it yourself? Share your experience below. You might give hope to someone waiting for their safe space too. The soft clink of glasses and flicker of string lights fill the warm evening air. Lucia stands just inside the house, one hand clutching her seashell, the other nervously smoothing the skirt of her dress. Neil's engagement party is in full swing. Guests laughing, plates piled with cake, tiny paper lanterns glowing above. But her mind churns, wondering if this will be just another night of jokes at her expense. Brian's voice rings out, clearing his throat as he climbs onto a small garden step, raising his glass. All eyes turn to him, expecting another easy laugh or a classic story about Neil. But tonight, his tone is different, measured, slightly shaky. He looks at Lucia first, finds her gaze, and then looks across the gathering. "Hey, can I have everyone's attention for just a moment?" Brian's hand trembles, and he holds up a small note card, edges curled. "I want to say something I should have said a long time ago, and it's not another joke." The garden falls quiet. A gentle hush. He takes a breath. "Lucia moved here from Peru. Every day, she's shown more courage than I can explain. Learning a new language, building a home, sharing her culture with me and all of you. And a few weeks ago, I made a joke about her accent, in front of friends, in front of family." Guests exchange glances. Lucia feels heat rise on her cheeks. Brian presses on, his voice strained but clear. "It was wrong. Not funny, not loving. I didn't just make fun of her words. I made fun of her history, her heart. The note card I'm holding? She wrote it to share what this family means to her. She practiced for days, wanting to fit in. I took that moment from her with a careless laugh. And I'm sorry. I hurt the woman I love, and I let myself and you miss out on what makes her incredible." A silence stretches across the yard, broken only by the sound of chairs creaking and someone dabbing their eyes. "Samantha told me to imagine what it feels like, trying so hard, only to have your voice turned into a joke." He pauses, voice catching. Lucia's accent isn't something to tease. It's bravery and love. It's proof of everything she's overcome and everything she brings to my life. I never want her, or anyone, to feel small because of where they come from or how they speak. I'm sorry, Lucia. I see you, and I'm proud of you. Proud to be yours. He wipes a tear quickly, not hiding it. Across the yard, Susan places a hand to her chest, eyes glistening. For a moment, no one says a word. Then a few claps rise, quiet at first, then bolder. Someone whispers, "Good for him." Others blink away tears, nodding. The wind shifts, carrying the weight of what's been said. Lucia steps forward, her throat tight, but her heart open. She reaches for the note card in Brian's hand, smoothing its bent edges. Her voice is quiet, but every syllable is clear. "Thank you, Brian," she says, tears sparkling in her eyes. "This is all I wanted, to know my story mattered, that my words are safe with you." A wave of relief and warmth radiates through the group as Lucia wraps Brian in a hug. The past few weeks melt away in the honesty of the moment. Music rises again, gentle and welcoming. This time, when the laughter returns, it feels different, true, shared, free from the old sting. As the party begins to dance and celebrate, Lucia squeezes Brian's hand. For the first time in a long while, she feels seen, not just by Brian, but by everyone. It's as if her voice, with its softest accent, is now the heartbeat of the night. Have you ever heard a public apology that changed your heart? Would you be able to forgive in front of everyone? Or would you need more time? Share your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes healing starts the moment someone dares to say sorry and really means it. As the music swells and laughter floats into the evening, Lucia and Brian join the crowd, knowing this joy belongs to both of them now. Not just to the loudest voice in the room. The kitchen glows with a quiet morning light. Lucia stands at the counter, sleeves rolled up, mashing garlic and cilantro for aji verde. Brian stands nearby, chopping onions, slow, careful, hyper-focused. Each piece a small gesture of apology. Soft pop music plays, mingling with the sizzle of oil, and Lucia's quick, accented instructions. Their movements bump, collide, and blend. For the first time in weeks, the air between them is easy. Not forced, not tense, just real. Lucia laughs as Brian winces from a wayward onion. "Don't cry, cariño. It's just the onions, yes?" Brian smirks, wiping his watery eyes. "Somebody told me cooking was way easier than learning Spanish. They lied." She grins, and for the first time, she doesn't shrink from her own laugh. She guides him through seasoning, tastes his efforts, and corrects gently. He teases her, tries his best to mimic her role of the R, fumbles, laughs at himself, and never her. Their kitchen has become a place for both their backgrounds, their words, their joy, a place of shared story, not hidden shame. Later, the buzz of a group chat pulls Lucia from her cooking prep. Neil sends a message. "Hey Lucia, can you teach me that magic chicken recipe for our wedding menu? Emma keeps talking about it. You know she thinks you're a chef." A second message follows, filled with awkward emojis. "Seriously, sorry again for being clueless at the BBQ. I would love to learn. And maybe a few words in Spanish too?" For the crowd, Lucia smiles. She responds, agreeing to share her grandmother's recipe, typing out steps, offering tips, with voice notes that mix Spanish and English. She feels the wall between them thinning. Neil's effort genuine. Later, he stops by with takeout empanadas and a notebook, ready to learn Peruvian cooking, taking notes in Lucia's accented English, asking questions thoughtfully. They share stories and laughs, and for the first time, Neil doesn't just see Lucia as Brian's wife, but as a friend, a guide. On Sunday, Susan drops by. She carries a dog-eared phrasebook and shyly offers, "Hola, Lucia, ¿cómo está?" Lucia beams with pride. Susan apologizes in her halting Spanish, tries again, and picks up more words as they chat. Together, they tape Spanish labels on the kitchen drawers and fridge. Susan's "Muy bien," echoing through the house. When dinner is ready, Susan helps, proud to pronounce even the hard words: causa rellena, lomo saltado, papa a la huancaína. It's not perfect, but it's effort. Every syllable a little door opening wider. That night, Lucia takes the note card, the one she wrote and hid away after the dinner hurt, the one Brian apologized with at the engagement party, and smooths out its creases. She pins it up on the fridge, front and center, a symbol reclaimed. "Words are safest at home," she says, eyes bright. Brian nods, squeezing her shoulder. Nearby, the seashell from Lima, a small, polished piece of home, sits beside the knife block, no longer tucked away in Lucia's pocket. Family, friends, even Brian's out-of-town cousins spot it and ask about its story. Lucia is proud to share. "It's from my first home. It brings good luck, and it means I belong here too." Everyday moments stack up. Lucia and Brian switch roles in the kitchen, Brian trying to say Peruvian ingredient names without tripping up. She ribs him for his messy accents. He playfully blames the rolling R for every slip-up. At work, Lucia answers the phone with confidence, chatting with Samantha and Jasmine about recipes and wedding plans. Brian records silly voice memos, practicing Spanish tongue twisters, cracking them both up late at night. Their home returns to laughter. This time, laughter that belongs to both of them. Lucia's voice rings out, sometimes faltering, sometimes fluid, always hers. There are no more jokes at her expense, only jokes shared, mistakes celebrated, and victories cheered. The refrigerator is now covered with family photos, Spanish flashcards, and Lucia's note card. Her name, written in bright colors. Yo pertenezco aquí. I belong here. Brian scribbles on the bottom, we belong, juntos. If you've ever found healing through little moments, or rebuilt trust, Not with grand speeches, but with quiet gestures and everyday kindness. What helped you most? Did you find yourself growing stronger by sharing, learning, and simply being seen? Share your story in the comments. Your words might be the sign of hope someone else needs to belong. Lucia doubles over with laughter as Brian tries and fails to master a Spanish tongue twister while flipping potatoes on the stove. Susan chimes in, mispronouncing everything, but undaunted. Neil texts recipe questions with heart and chili pepper emojis. The seashell glimmers softly in the kitchen light. Here, stories are not silenced. They're sung out loud, together. The halls at the school buzz with music and laughter. Lucia stands at the front of the gym, holding a plate piled high with arroz con pollo, surrounded by students and teachers from everywhere. China, Kenya, Mexico, the Philippines. Her voice rings out, warm and confident, as she welcomes everyone to the multicultural potluck. Nervous at first, she glances down at the note card in her hand. Her words are still marked with a gentle accent. And this time, she's proud. "My name is Lucia Morales," she says, voice steady, "and my story started far from here, but my heart found its home right in this room. With your stories, your food, your laughter, never hide where you are from. Your voice belongs here." Applause breaks out. Several students smile at her, and one shyly approaches with her own story. Lucia listens, offering comfort and encouragement, remembering all too well how much it matters to be heard. Later, Lucia gathers with her book club in that same cozy cafe. Rain streaking the windows, her seashell worrystone sitting in the center of the table. Tonight, she leads. Jasmine reads a poem about home and the courage it takes to claim your space. Amber shares about the first time she ever used her real name at work, how scared she was, and how good it felt. Lucia speaks openly about her journey, about the pain and the healing that followed Brian's apology. The group laughs and cries, but every voice is celebrated. For once, Lucia feels like the strongest one in the circle. At home, Lucia and Brian sit on the couch, video calling her mother in Peru. Brian leans in, grinning sheepishly. "Hola, Señora Morales," he says, practicing his Spanish with proud, clumsy effort. Lucia and her mother break into laughter, while Brian blushes, determined to get it right. They share news, family recipes, plans for the future. Lucia's world feels wider and safer than it's ever been. "Nunca olvides de donde vienes," her mother says softly through the screen. "Never forget where you come from." Lucia nods. "I won't, Mama, and I'm proud now to tell my story in every room." She turns to the camera, narrating over this collection of bright scenes. School halls, cozy kitchens, Sunday parks, her book club's laughter, Spanish sticky notes on the fridge. "Forgiveness," she says, "doesn't make the past disappear, but it lets something new grow where pain once sat. I learned the hurt didn't vanish, but now my voice means love, not shame. If you've ever felt small or like your words didn't matter, don't let anyone close your heart. Your story belongs. You belong." She leans into Brian as he holds up a blank note card. Together, they write in bold, colorful letters, "Our voices, our life." They pin it up on the fridge, bright and easy to see. This time, the note isn't hidden. It's an invitation and a promise. Lucia smiles, breathing deeply as the video fades to quiet music. Kitchen lights warm behind her. Have you ever found the courage to share your story after being made to feel small? What helped you speak up or forgive? Did a friend, a community, or a second chance let you be heard? Share your experience in the comments below. Your voice might be what helps someone else trust their own. With every word you speak, with every truth you tell, you make the world a little brighter for those still learning to use their voice. The screen closes on Lucia and Brian's hands, side by side, the new note card shining in the kitchen. Proof that together, their voices are stronger than ever. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to think about your own voice and story. Have you ever forgiven someone for making you feel small, or found strength in sharing your true self? Even when it was hard, share your experience in the comments. Your words could help someone else rediscover pride in who they are. If you believe that real love learns, listens, and grows stronger through empathy and honesty, don't forget to like, share, and follow for more real stories that lift up every voice. Because when we honor our stories, no matter the accent or background, we all belong. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version for social media or a punchy one-liner